Broadcasting live worldwide.
On June 16th, 2018, a show designed for you, the Daily Commuter, went live. A weekly show all about faith. A show with motivational topics, inspirational stories, and personal testimony set out to change the world.
Don't you see that your faith is coming alive? Don't you see that it's tested every time? He's the one that makes your life divine. He's the one that makes you feel fine. Your faith's being tested.
Hi, I am Mia. You're listening to Have Faith, Let It Begin.
Hello, my name is Amari, and today we are back on another episode of Have Faith and Let's Begin. Hi, my name is Isabella, and you're listening to Have Faith, Let It Begin.
Hey, this is Freddie, and you're listening to Have Faith, Let It Begin.
Hi, my name is Angela, and you're listening to Have Faith, Let It Begin.
Welcome to Have Faith. Let it begin. Here's your host, Angel Santana.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Have Faith, Let It Begin. My name is Angel, and welcome to this Monday. That's right, it's a Monday. We are here. It's a blessing. The roads and the path that we have been on in these last couple weeks have been crazy, but I almost feel as if we are coming closer and closer and closer to the end. And for that, I am grateful. I just believe that we're getting there, folks. I don't know why. I woke up and I said, this has got to be the turning point to a certain degree. We've got to be almost there. We just have to be. And with that being said, let's get started with today's episode with a little throwback action. A very popular title entitled, Remember When. Remember when we were younger, we used to go to the video store and we would rent movies, we'd rent video games. Remember when those new movies would come in? Some of the movie places had the little clothespins. If the movie had the clothespin, that means the movie was in for you to rent. If the movie didn't have a clothespin, then I'm sorry, the movie would not be available. Back in the 80s, they would have a little card. They would say, sorry, this movie is not available at this time. I remember going up and get to the point where they would almost guarantee that the movie you wanted would always be in stock, but only to find out when you get there, somebody had taken the last copy. Then when you go to the register, you say to yourself, oh, people are dropping off their movies. So I would pray that the movie that was just dropped off was one of the movies that I wanted to rent. I remember always going right before 7 o'clock, which is the cutoff time. So I would always get there like at 6:45, hoping that people would return their movies. That way, if I couldn't find the movie that I liked, I knew it was coming in. I remember that at one point they extended the amount of time you could rent the movie for the point where instead of one night, it was 3 nights. Of course, the price went up, but it was still a bargain. Remember when we used to go to the video store and it would actually be a deal where it would be rent a movie, get a popcorn, and bucket free? I remember those days. Remember when we were younger, we would actually go to an arcade and actually play arcades. All different types of games like Pac-Man and Frogger, Mrs. Pac-Man. Of course, we would always do our very best to play that air hockey machine and hope that the little puck would not fling in the air. Remember when we would actually go to school dances and we would actually be given $5 or $6 from your parents, which was enough to get into the school dance and maybe have enough money to buy some soda or chips, depending on what was available at the time. Remember when we would actually be able to go out into the world and not have to worry about getting hit with some type of virus and being out there and knowing that even if we got sick, nothing like a good sip of Robitussin or a couple pills wouldn't get you back on your feet. Remember when we would actually go to the movies and be dropped off and watch a double feature, whether that was at a drive-in or maybe go in from one movie and, let's be honest, sneak into a couple others. Remember when we were younger, we would actually rent the movie, watch it at home, and movies that we weren't supposed to watch, not so much as rated R movies, but more like scary movies. And your brothers would find out or your sister would find out and they'd scare you right in the middle of the movie. Remember when we were younger, we used to play a game called tag. We would sit ourselves up and do everything we can to make sure we weren't tagged. But everybody on the street or on the block would always play. Didn't matter who you were, didn't matter where you came from, we all got along. Remember when we used to work together as a team in Manhunt, and we would have teams of 10. Remember when we used to play games like Simon Says and Hopscotch. We would actually jump rope. Remember when we used to go to the playgrounds and swing on the tires and swing. Remember when we used to defend one another when others were being bullied. Remember when we used to have days that we would actually look forward to going to school because we enjoyed our studies, we enjoyed our classmates, we even enjoyed our teachers. Remember when we would actually get our first job and head out and get our working papers and find the first job that we always wanted, only to find out you were going to go crazy when you realized that you were only making $4.25 an hour. Remember when you used to say to yourself, if only I could make $5 an hour, I would be rich. Remember when we were younger, we would graduate from middle school and head over to become a freshman. Remember when we were asked to go to the first homecoming dance. Remember when we would have our first fight with our best friends, only to make up probably by the end of the school day, or maybe by the end of the year. Remember when we got older, and it felt like our friends went one way and we went the other. Remember when we rekindled friendships when they were gone in high school, but only to return. We can say that phrase a lot, remember when. We can use that phrase a lot. But one thing is for sure. We can never forget about our past, our memories, and things that we did when we were younger. Just because we're sheltered today doesn't mean we're going to be sheltered forever. So when we're ready to create new memories, never forget to remember when. And never forget to have faith and let it begin. Hope you enjoyed today's episode. Down memory lane. Thank you for listening to another episode of Have Faith, Let It Begin. That's right, Ariel. We're done with another show. And it's always great to have this show with you, my love. You know, we're going to encourage each and every person to listen to our show every single weekday. That's right, you and I are going to help change the world. Do you think that you can do that for me? Huh? Yeah, you know you can. She does. We want to let you know, and yes, we encourage you to listen to our show each and every weekday, and it's going to be live at 7:30. Make sure you're subscribed to our show. Make sure you get ready, fasten those seatbelts, because Ariel and I and my family are going to bring you a new topic, a new story each and every day, right? Isn't that right, Ariel? Yeah. And she's smiling at me. Guys, enjoy your day.